Hello, welcome to Art of Fragrance. So I'm back after 3 years. Been very busy with life and currently just started grad school, so been very busy. But I'm here today to give you my top 5 favorite fragrances. Now, these are not necessarily recommendations for various reasons that I'll explain later. But these are my personal favorites, the ones that I love to smell, the ones that I love to wear. And there's a little bit here for every situation pretty much. So if you want to take these as recommendations, feel free to, but I will explain some of the reasons why you may not want to purchase these when I go over them. So I'll start with a couple honorable mentions, which I do not actually have the bottles with me here because they're back at my childhood home with my larger fragrance collection. But one of those is Tommy by Tommy Hilfiger. I really enjoy that scent. I love the minty freshness it has, and it just has a lot of nostalgia for me. I wore it all throughout my undergrad, so it has a lot of cherished memories attached to it for me, and it's a very relaxing scent in my opinion. And my second honorable mention is going to be Reflection Man by Amouage. Now, I had a decant of this. I've since gone through all of that, and I'm considering getting another one just because I love the scent so much. I really like the way it uses white florals along with some woody, more masculine notes to tie it in to make it a very nice, soft and yet masculine scent at the same time. Very elegant, very upscale, great for formal occasions, great for when you want to feel a sense of esteem. So that's going to be my second honorable mention, Amouage Reflection Man. So, getting into the actual top 5 now. My 5th spot is a scent that I did not like when I first got it. I actually blind bought this based on a lot of the reviews I read, and I just loved the way it sounded and the whole concept of the fragrance. When I got it in, I did not really like it. I thought it was too mature for me, but over time, over repeated wearings, I've come to really like this stuff, and thank God I got it because it's now discontinued. Narciso Rodriguez for him. Now, yeah, and I can definitely see why the average person on first smell would not like this. It's kind of ozonic and yet sort of a little bit bitter and musky on the atomizer at least. And it smells a little different off the atomizer than in the air, but I've come to really love the sort of dark, mysterious, ozonic, almost like people say it's kind of damp, like wet concrete a little bit. I don't know that it necessarily smells like concrete, but I definitely see where they're coming from with that. Sort of that dark, damp, rainy day sort of smell. Yeah, it's just kind of like the smell after rain a little bit. I get that vibe. But yeah, I really did not like this at first smell. So I would not recommend blind buying this. If you can get a sample of this, and I know it's discontinued, so it's extremely expensive now. But if you can get a sample of this, definitely try it out if you're into those sort of mysterious, dark, sort of semi-fresh, but also with a good amount of sweetness and a good amount of depth to it. So I think this is actually an all-season fragrance as long as you don't wear it in the hyper high heat, maybe summer night. Yeah, I could see this being pretty good for a summer night, maybe in 60s, 70s, but nothing above that. This is definitely more of a cooler weather fragrance, in my opinion. But that's my number 5, Narciso Rodriguez for him. Now, my number 4, this is one that I don't really wear out in public too often. And it's for a few reasons. I think it's a little bit polarizing, not extremely, but there is a smoky accord in this fragrance that I don't think everyone will be on board with. So for that reason, I usually just wear this when I'm either by myself or just with a few friends or with people who I know aren't going to become offended by this fragrance. And this is called By the Fireplace from the replica collection from Maison Margiela. So what do I get from this one? Wow. So it's very sweet, obviously. You'll pick up on that immediately when you smell it. And I don't know where the sweetness is coming from. It kind of has a resinous benzoin vanilla sort of vibe, but a lot of people say that they smell sort of marshmallow accord in this one, which I can definitely see where that's coming from. And paired with the smoky note in this, makes it very, very cozy, very almost festive to me. It makes me think very much so of just being cozy around a campfire with people you care about, especially in the wintertime. Like, this is a perfect winter fragrance. But like I said before, I don't know if I mentioned this, but it is very, very strong, at least off of my skin. So I can't go more than like 2 sprays with this without it becoming just overpowering, clawing, and just not pleasant. So I definitely go light on the trigger with this one, but I love the smell, and I've gotten a couple compliments from it, but really it's not the type of fragrance that I wear to get compliments. It's the type of smell I wear because I enjoy it. So that's my number 4 by the Fireplace. All right, moving on to number 3. Now this one is actually a clone of my 3rd spot on this list. I had a sample of the fragrance that this one is trying to clone, which is Silver Mountain Water. I had a sample of that one. I've since gone through it, and I love the smell so much that I actually got 2 clones of that fragrance. I got, what is it called? Al Haramain Blanche, I believe, or L'Aventure Blanche. And then I also got this one, which I prefer, and it's called, Club de Nuit Seage. I usually display it backwards just because I like the chrome of this, and I'm not crazy about this kind of broken glass aesthetic, but the smell of this comes pretty close to Silver Mountain Water. Now, you can tell if you smelled both of them that this one has less quality and less depth and less, definitely less of that inky tea vibe that the original Silver Mountain Water had, but it definitely gets in the ballpark of that same sort of soft yet masculine fragrance that could also be unisex. I could see this one being unisex. However, personally, I like to wear it. And I don't know what that says about me, but I definitely love the way it smells, and I think it reflects very nicely about who I am as a person. And I generally just love the scent, and I wear it very often. This is like almost a daily wear for me. This is my favorite work scent, one of my favorite scents to go to class. I just think it really represents me nicely, and yeah, and it performs great too. This one, I actually got a compliment after about 8 hours of wearing. Someone asked me what I was wearing. So there you go. It has good performance if you're concerned about that. So my number 3 spot, Club de Nuit Seage. Now, my number 2 spot. This one is also a little polarizing within the fragrance community. I've seen some good reviews of it, and I've seen some bad reviews of it, people saying they hate it. Personally, it was a blind buy for me. Like you can probably tell, I like to blind buy cheap fragrances. It's just kind of a fun thing for me to do because if you don't like it, you're only out $20 to $30, and you have something that maybe you can gift to someone else if you don't like it. But this one I will not be gifting to anyone else because I really do like it. Immediately when I first sprayed it on after getting it in, I was enamored with it, and I knew that it was going to be one of my go-to scents, especially in the cooler weather. So this one is called Century by Dunhill. Now, people say this has a 90s vibe. I can totally get that, at least in terms of the freshness it has. It sort of has that sort of drier sheet 90s freshness to it, but the sweetness of this fragrance is really what I love, and that comes a lot from sandalwood, which gives it this really nice, creamy, woody, classy, elegant vibe that is just to die for me. And it's actually my scent of the day, so I'm gonna reapply it really quick and just give it a smell. Yeah, the opening is really the strangest part. It has that 90s freshness a lot stronger in the open than anywhere else in the fragrance, but if you give it about 15 to 30 minutes, that dies down very quickly, and you're left with a really nice, smooth, and sort of semi-sweet, but also slightly fresh scent. So this one, in my opinion, would be perfect for spring. I think spring would be the best time to wear this, but also fall. The only problem with that is that the performance on my skin is very bad. I only get about 3 hours with this one, if that. So for that reason, I don't really wear it out unless I'm just going to class and I'm coming right back home afterwards. Then I'll wear this one. But mostly it's just for me lounging around the house. I would never really wear this for a big occasion because I know it wouldn't last the whole thing. But just in terms of smell alone, that's what I'm basing this list on. This is definitely in my top 5. Yeah, and I would say it's my number 2 at this certain time. So, number 2 spot, Century. So, number 1, what is my favorite scent out of everything I own? So if you've seen my fall list from, gosh, many years ago, you'll see that this was on there, and I spoke very highly of it then, and I still think very highly of it now. However, I don't really wear it that much because I really cherish this bottle because it is the original formulation of this fragrance. Or maybe the second formulation, but it still is very similar to that original formulation and has great performance. And the newer batches of this fragrance have been watered down and reformulated, and it is just not the same fragrance anymore. And the fragrance I'm talking about is La Nuit de l'Homme by St Laurent. And this may be a generic pick, but this is one of the fragrances that really got me into the fragrance community, into collecting fragrances. I remember just the first time smelling it, I had never smelled anything that had smelled exactly like this, and I'd heard so much hype about it, and it was just the perfect experience of getting a fragrance in and it completely living up to the hype that had been built around it. So this is a 2014 bottle. As you can see, it's about halfway gone, just about. So I'm saving this for very special occasions. I'm not going to be using a lot of it, but from time to time, I will just spray it on or just smell the atomizer just because I love the smell so much. The opening is perfect, little lavender, little bergamot, and of course with that cardamom underlying everything in the entire fragrance. As it dries down, you get a little bit more of that spicy, warm, woody sort of smell, and it is just perfect for romantic occasions, fall and winter, even spring, maybe even summer nights, because it does have a lightness to it. It is definitely sweet, but that bergamot and that lavender definitely give it a little pop that could make it appropriate for the summertime. So all in all, I don't know that I would recommend this because the batches that you'll currently find are going to be very watered down. The performance I've heard is abysmal. So this one lasts me about 6 to 7 hours, which is perfect. For this style of fragrance, the projection isn't super strong, but it's perfectly strong enough. And just in general, this is an A+ scent in terms of romantic settings. So that's going to be my number 1, La Nuit de l'Homme by St Laurent. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Hopefully I can come out with some new videos soon. Unfortunately, I don't have my whole collection with me here. You can see I have a few bottles back there, but not a whole lot. So I can't do many videos, but with what I have, I will try to come back and make another video for you soon. Take care.